Imagine knowing a man is guilty of murder. Imagine watching him walk out of court, smiling not once but twice. And then, years later, hearing that same man's name in the news again, tied to yet another killing. This isn't a movie. This is real. And it happened because of the decisions of one judge. What happened next? Watch now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more shocking stories. His name was Daniel Cross. In 2005, he was 29 years old, a drifter with a violent history, a reputation for trouble, and a string of minor arrests behind him. People in his neighborhood avoided him. They knew he was dangerous. But no one could have guessed how far he would go, and how much protection the system would give him. It all began one humid summer night in Brookfield, a small city where serious crime was rare. A young man named Marcus Hill was found dead in a parking lot, his body lying beside an abandoned car. The cause of death, a single gunshot wound to the chest. Witnesses told police they saw Daniel arguing with Marcus earlier that evening. One even said they saw Daniel pull a gun. The murder weapon, a cheap revolver, was found just a block away, and it had Daniel's fingerprints on it. Detectives were confident they had their man. The trial moved quickly. Prosecutors laid out the evidence: motive, opportunity, physical proof. But Daniel's defense attorney had a different plan: to attack the investigation itself. He argued the police had mishandled the crime scene, that the chain of custody for the gun was unclear, and that witnesses were unreliable because they were young men with criminal records of their own. The judge, a respected figure named Harold Whitman, seemed persuaded by these arguments. Over the prosecutor's objections, he excluded the gun as evidence, saying its discovery had been procedurally flawed. Without the gun, the prosecution's case fell apart. After just 2 days of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict: not guilty. Daniel walked out of court a free man. For a while, Daniel kept a low profile. He worked odd jobs, bounced between cheap apartments, and stayed out of the headlines. But beneath the surface, nothing had changed. In the years that followed, several women reported Daniel for harassment and threats. Police responded, but without concrete evidence, nothing stuck. He was arrested twice for assault, but both charges were dropped. It was only a matter of time before things turned deadly again. In 2008, the quiet suburb of Fairview was shaken by the murder of 32-year-old Claire Bennett, a single mother of a toddler. She was found in her kitchen, stabbed repeatedly. Her child was discovered crying in the next room. Neighbors told police they'd seen a tall man in a dark hoodie near Claire's home the night before. Security footage from a gas station less than a mile away showed Daniel Cross buying cigarettes just 15 minutes after the estimated time of death. When police brought him in, they noticed scratches on his hands. Daniel claimed they were from fixing a fence. Prosecutors built their case, but there was one problem. Much of the evidence was circumstantial. The security footage didn't place him at the scene, and there were no fingerprints on the knife. Still, the jury could have considered the pattern of behavior if they'd been given the chance. But once again, Judge Whitman presided. Once again, he sided with the defense, excluding the testimony of 2 witnesses who claimed they'd heard Daniel arguing with Claire days before her murder. Without their statements, the prosecution's case lost its backbone. Daniel walked free for the second time. For the families of Marcus Hill and Claire Bennett, the pain was unimaginable. Both believed justice had been stolen from them twice. But the nightmare wasn't over. In 2013, police were called to an apartment in the neighboring city of Eastbrook. Inside, they found the body of 24-year-old Jordan Price. He'd been beaten to death. This time, officers didn't have to look far. Daniel Cross was found in the same apartment, drunk and covered in blood. He was arrested on the spot. In custody, Daniel confessed not just to Jordan's murder, but to Marcus's and Claire's as well. He said he knew he'd never be punished because the judge liked him. The trial for Jordan's murder was swift. The evidence was undeniable, and Judge Whitman was nowhere near the case. Daniel was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. News of Daniel's confession ignited public outrage. The media turned its attention to Judge Whitman, whose rulings had twice allowed a killer to walk free. Protesters demanded his resignation. Under pressure, Whitman retired early, but he never admitted wrongdoing. To this day, he maintains that he was upholding the law and ensuring a fair trial. But for the victims' families, those words mean nothing. They believe that if justice had been served the first time, or even the second, 3 people would still be alive. So, what do you think? Was Judge Whitman simply following the law, or did his decisions make him complicit in 3 murders? And if a judge's ruling allows a killer to walk free, should they be held accountable when that person kills again?